7 a.m. Let's rise and shine. So talks money, the future's alive. Grab your coffee, let's take a ride. It's wealth and wisdom, time will rise. Mr. Educator too, sharing the wealth, building things you should do. From trust to banking, it's all a must. Your guide to wealth is learning and trust. Let's unite, secure it right. Dreams take shape with every insight. Rules and assets, life insurance plans, building for your future with expert hands. Sometimes money and more, things in wealth, with knowledge galore. Asset protection, plans to grow. Tune in and watch your dreams overflow. From day to day, you trust for life. Breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips. We're here to help your fortune eclipse. From day to day, you trust for life. Breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips. We're here to help your fortune eclipse. So tune in now, it's time to learn. So wisdom's your return. Invest, protect, and thrive for sure. Signing off is gold, talks money and more.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is time to rise and shine for another edition of So Talks Money and More. I am your host, Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, and investor. Opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted. And I am so excited and so delighted to be here this second Monday in May. Gotta start the show off today by, of course, thanking my WMPR and WGDQ listening audience and my YouTube viewing audience for not only tuning in today, but for all of the wonderful birthday wishes that I received on last Monday. Mr. Armstrong, I am still basking in the celebration. Thank you so much to the staff here at WMPR, all of those who called in, came into the studio, the gifts, the breakfast. I was actually treated to breakfast after I left the studio. Thank you so much for making my 55th birthday very, very memorable. Those who sent texts. And I tell you, we didn't stop the party here, Mr. Armstrong. We took the party on the road. I had several folks that showed up over at Green Ghost Tacos and helped me celebrate not only my birthday, but Cinco de Mayo. And we had a wonderful time. I waited till I was 55 years old to decide I wanted to try bull riding. Imagine that. I got on that mechanical bull and I lived to tell about it. So we had a good time. It was fun. And I thank you. Certainly appreciate all of the continued support. Just want to go ahead and announce a few events that we have upcoming this week. On this Wednesday, we will be back in Hazelhurst, Mississippi at the St. Peter's Church of Christ Holiness USA with Elder Kendrick Barnes and Sister Carrie Barnes and the congregation there. They laid out the carpet for me the last time I went down back in December to speak there. We had a very, very nice sized group in attendance. We're hoping the same this time. So I do thank them for their efforts. Young couple that is trying to not only spread the gospel, but to help Dr. Williams in this effort to educate our people on the importance of building, protecting, and properly transferring wealth. We had an event scheduled for this past Saturday, May the 10th. However, the rain just would not go away. No matter how much we sang, rain, rain, go away, come again some other day. It would not go away. It set in, so we decided to reschedule our coffee and conversation event that we had planned for Soleil Coffee House there in Fondren. That has been rescheduled to the 24th of May. So that's a couple of Saturdays away. And we're hoping that you will join us at Soleil Coffee House in Fondren on the 24th. We hope to be back in the studio a couple of times before that event. So we will remind you that we do have that upcoming. Last Monday, when we were on air, we were fortunate enough to kick off an event that we plan to make a regular event. I'm going to do some philanthropic efforts on an ongoing basis. And I've mentioned this before. I will continue to mention that my goal in selling books is not just to sell books for a big profit for Dr. Williams. You guys know me by now, and you know that my heart is for my people. I want to make sure that we are educated, but I also want to make sure that we are putting money back into our own community. That is so important. We support everybody else to the tune of somewhere between 1.3 and 1.8 trillion dollars. It's been said that we as the Black community put into the economy on an annual basis. And so we want to make sure that we are putting money not just into the economy, but into the economy in such a way that it benefits us, our people. So we started a Bless to Bless philanthropic effort, and this is how it goes. So I know I talked about Double Good, and we've all heard of Double Good by now. That's the popcorn fundraising event where, of course, profits are split between the fundraising organization and Double Good. Well, we're over here doing Triple Good. We're doing triple blessing. So the first blessing comes in the form of you blessing me when you purchase one of my physical books, the physical copy of the book. You receive a blessing when you read the information and you implement, not just read it, but implement. And the third blessing comes in the form of the fact that we donate $5 from the sale of every one of those books to a pot. And we do a drawing once a month, which we did live on air last week. And we were able to bless someone with $250. Now, that may not be a whole lot because to some, there may not be much at all, but to some, that's a whole lot. Just imagine somebody calling you up from the radio saying you just won $250 in cash. And all it took was for somebody to buy a book. So we're asking with the sales of the books this month, all the books that are sold in the month of May, we're putting $5 into a pot. And in June, if the good Lord says the same, we'll do it all over again. Mr. Armstrong, we're going to draw another name and we're going to bless somebody for Father's Day. Last week, it was for Mother's Day. Next month, it will be for Father's Day. So all you got to do is buy the book. You can buy a copy of the book by showing up on the 24th at my event at Soleil Coffee House in Fondren. You can always go online to www.iamsonoted, and that's S.E.W. iamsonoted.co, not com.co. To get your copy of Learning to Trust, a Black Family's Guide for Building, Protecting, and Transferring Wealth. Last week, not only did I celebrate my birthday, I also celebrated the debut of my new podcast. I am super excited about that. We got a different platform, but the same messaging. So Talks Money and More, the podcast, debuted last Monday on YouTube, you guys. We started off our podcast with an episode entitled, What Happened to Grandma's House? I'm sure you want to know where Grandma's house is and how that all turned out. So we ask that you, as the young folks say, tap in to I Am So Noted on YouTube, and that's I Am S.E.W. Noted. On YouTube, I believe that's you don't follow, you subscribe on YouTube. So we're asking you to take a few minutes to go over there, subscribe to the channel, and check out that episode of What Happened to Grandma's House. This week, we'll be discussing the heirs property trap, and we are going to continue our efforts to educate our community using all the mediums that are available to us. And we just ask that you will support those efforts. Now I'm looking at the clock and I know we got things to do today. Want to get into our discussion for today. And got to start by reflecting on an event that occurred right here in the city of Jackson on last week. As we celebrated Mother's Day on yesterday as a nation, I'm reminded of something that I saw on TV and I read the story in the media, and my heart is heavy when I think about the fact that right here in the city of Jackson, we had a young mother that gave birth on the streets, right here in the capital city. And that's heartbreaking for me. As I say, as I think about the fact that we just celebrated Mother's Day on yesterday, and I know I'm a day late, not a dollar short though, just a day late. I'm in a reflective mode, just thinking about the fact that that young lady lay on the street, from what they tell me, for several hours, and many people just kind of walked on by, turned their head, didn't really see her. Maybe they thought, they didn't know what was going on. Maybe some folks didn't even want to take the time. We live in a very busy society. Everybody's running back and forth, trying to do this and that, and many people walked on by. I think about it and my heart is heavy. Some of us heard about it. Many people, I've mentioned it too, have not heard about it, but I think about the suffering. And it makes me think about Black women in general, and specifically since we're right here one day shy of on the other side of Mother's Day, makes me think about the cost of a Black mother's love, the cost of a Black mother's love. The love of a Black mother is powerful, relentless, and all too often sacrificial. From the moment her child enters the world, a Black mother faces the harsh reality that her love alone may not be enough to shield her family from the systems and circumstances designed to wear her down. She stretches herself emotionally, physically, and financially to provide stability in an unstable world, often given until there is nothing left of herself. Yet her efforts are rarely protected, preserved, or passed on in the form of generational wealth or long-term security. This reality points us towards a powerful truth. Black love, particularly that of a mother, must be fortified by tools like estate planning, not just to honor that love, but to ensure it outlives her. Black mothers in America disproportionately carry the weight of single parenting, lower wages, limited access to generational wealth, and systemic discrimination. They often make miracles out of minimum wages, hold down multiple jobs, navigating public school systems, and working tirelessly to send their children to college or keep them out of the criminal justice system. The love they give is costly, not just in time and energy, but in missed opportunities, unhealed trauma, and generational burnout. Even when a Black mother achieves financial stability, the cost doesn't go away. She is expected to become the family bank, the counselor, the emergency contact for every crisis. Her love is seen as an infinite resource. But what happens when she passes away without a will, a trust, or a plan? What happens to her home, her savings, her cherished possessions? All too often, the things she worked so hard to build are lost, mismanaged, are stuck in legal limbo. Without proper estate planning, everything a Black mother builds for her family can unravel after her death. Real estate can end up in probate for years, draining the family's limited resources. Bank accounts may be frozen. Arguments over who gets what can divide siblings and damage family bonds permanently. I know because I'm working with a family right now where that's very true. A mother's dreams for her children, college funds, housings, or simple financial security can vanish into legal fees and family conflict. This scenario is not hypothetical. It's a regular occurrence in the Black community. The cost of not planning is steep. It's so steep. According to caring.com, while 60% of white Americans report having a will or an estate plan, only 27.5% of Black Americans do. This disparity reflects systemic exclusion from the financial planning industry, but it also reflects a cultural silence around death and money, topics often seen as taboo. Estate planning is not just about money, it's about love. It's about making sure children don't have to guess your wishes, fight in court, or lose everything you work to give them. For a Black mother, estate planning is a final, powerful act of care, a way to protect her family even when she's no longer physically present. A will says, I see you. I thought of you. I wanted to make things easier for you. A trust says, I built something for you to stand on. Power of attorney and healthcare directives say, if I can't speak for myself, I trust you to honor me. These are not just legal documents. They are love letters written in the language of law. Estate planning can be the beginning of breaking generational curses. It can ensure that the next generation doesn't start from scratch or worse, from debt. When families have a clear plan, they can grieve in peace rather than under the weight of financial stress and uncertainty. They can build on what was left behind instead of watching it disappear. Moreover, estate planning can be a tool for education and empowerment. When Black mothers sit down to make a will, they often begin a ripple effect, encouraging siblings, children, and even friends to do the same. It opens up space for conversations about wealth, ownership, and legacy, topics that are essential for progress. The love of a Black mother has sustained generations, but love should not have to suffer in silence, nor should it die with her. We must reframe estate planning not as a privilege or a burden, but as a vital form of protection and empowerment. When we plan, we preserve. When we prepare, we pass on. The cost of a Black mother's love is too high for it to be wasted in court fees, family disputes, or lost homes. Estate planning is how we make that love last. It's how we ensure that the sacrifices of our mothers are not just remembered, but rewarded. with security, stability, and strength for those they leave behind. The cost of a Black mother's love. I go back to where I started. When I think about that young lady, though it might be a conversation piece for many of us. Some of us may not have even given a thought, second thought. Is that somebody else's problem? But I want to remind us that that's someone's child. That was someone's child. And although may not have been your child, the reality is, if we as mothers, Black mothers, fathers, Black fathers, don't do something different, what's to say that one day that could very well happen to an heir of ours, any of ours? What's to say? Who's to say? Was someone else's turn last Wednesday? That was someone else's family's problem last Wednesday. That was someone else's problem. What's to say that it could not happen to any of us? But for the grace of God and some planning, some preparation to leave our affairs in such a way that there is financial stability for our loved ones, so that that's not our story. It's not our children or our grandchildren or our great-grandchildren laying on the street giving birth. On yesterday, I started my Sunday as I often do. I hadn't done it in a while because the pollen has been so high. But of course, we had so much rain on Saturday, I figured I would put my shoes on and get out and take a morning walk. Got in about 4 miles yesterday, Mr. Armstrong, before Sunday service. While I was walking, sometimes you get lost in thought, and I kind of had one of those strange feelings like something or someone was behind me. And I looked around, and there was my neighbor's dog, Bailey, just following along. Yes, Bailey decided she needed some exercise too. So I invited Bailey to come along and join my walk. Now, the thing about Bailey taking that walk with me, when Bailey goes with me, as she has on a few times before, I have to alternate my plans. I have to do things a little bit differently because I'm concerned about Bailey running into traffic or doing things that Bailey shouldn't be doing, and I don't want Bailey to get hit by a car. But I noticed something yesterday, another life lesson. Every time I saw danger or what I sensed may have been danger, I said to Bailey, don't do this or do that, do the other. Get out the street, Bailey. Know what I noticed, Mr. Armstrong? Bailey did exactly as I told her. When the cars were coming, Bailey got out the way. When we got to a place where we saw another dog in the neighborhood, Bailey turned around and looked at me, and I said, Bailey, I think it may be time for us to turn around. Bailey turned around. Bailey did exactly as I instructed her. She trusted me. I have a message to my community. I've been on air. I've been on TV. I've been on the radio. I've written. I've shown up at churches, events with the same messaging that it's time, people. It's time to do some things differently. We're headed in a different direction, and we've got to do some things differently. Now I say to my community, if Bailey the dog, if Bailey the dog can follow instructions, how much more intelligent are we? We're human beings. So for all of you that listen to my voice week after week and you have not done anything, my question to you is why? Why do you choose to continue operating in silence? Why do you choose to continue doing the same thing? Not going to get different results. You're not. So I invite you today, if you have not, gotten your copy of Learning to Trust, we have written the book. We have it in print form for those of you that like to read your books on electronic media. We have it in digital format. We even have it in audio format for those of you that are auditory learners and would prefer to listen. We invite you to go to learningtotrust.org and get your copy today. We encourage you, we implore you, you have got to do some things differently. The stories that I tell, these are not things I'm making up, people. A lot of times I'll change the name to protect the privacy of the individuals that have shared things with me. However, there are lessons to be learned in everybody's story. I invite you to do something different today. The choice is yours. For those of you who may need help, I encourage you to reach out. We have things in place to help you. We have created a boot camp, a 6-week virtual boot camp. You can learn from the privacy and the comfort of your home. We encourage you, we implore you to please do something different. Don't leave your legacy, your estate to chance. Leave an estate of choice. And with that being said, I see I have a YouTube participant this morning that is very active in the chat. And unfortunately, I'm looking at the clock and I know I don't have time to respond, but I assure you, I will read your comments and I will respond. I thank you so much for getting up early this morning to listen and tune in to Dr. Williams. Looking at the clock, I will be back in the 7:30 hour to interview one of our mayoral candidates. I'm looking forward to inviting him into the WMPR studio this morning. But my time is coming to an end. You guys, it's been great. I have enjoyed being here. This is literally one of the highlights of my week. I get up at 4:30 in the morning to be here. I'm at my unpaid job. How about that? They say when you find something you love, just do it. And I do it all out of love, all out of love. I thank you guys for tuning in this morning. Those of you that are in our WMPR and WGDQ listening audience, we invite you to follow us on social media at I Am So Noted, and that's IAMSEWNOTED. You can also stream the show online at WMPR90.1.com and 93.1 WGDQ.com. If it's Monday morning and the good Lord says the same, so is Talking Money and More. We look forward to seeing you right here next Monday, 7 a.m. Peace.
Rise and shine, so talks money, the future's alive. Grab your coffee, let's take a ride. It's wealth and wisdom, time will rise. Author, Mr. Educator, sharing the wealth, building things you should know. For trust to breaking, it's all a must. Your guide to wealth is learning to trust. Legacy matters, secure it right. Dreams take shape with every insight. Wills and assets, life insurance plans, building for your future with expert hands. Sometimes money and more. Raising wealth with knowledge galore. Asset protection plans to grow. Dreaming of
I'm sorry, the